I was fighting with myself on whether or not I should make this video, but because of the lesson that I learned this morning, it just pushed me to make it. So lately, I'd say within probably the past couple of months, I haven't felt as close to God. He's felt really distant. I know that not all the time are you going to feel close to him. You're not always going to feel like you're completely tapped in to where you got like a direct line. And I don't mean like, Jesus talks to me or writes me emails. That's not what I mean. I mean like feeling like you're close to God. If you're a Christian, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about when you feel close to him and when you feel like you're not. Ever since I got my surgery, past couple of months, I haven't felt that close to him. Whether I was slipping or already backslidden, just didn't feel near. And like I said, I know that you're not always going to feel close to him. So I kind of slowly reverted back to this old mentality that I had, just relying on my own knowledge of the scriptures. And so for the longest time, I fell into this trap of, don't just check the box. Like, are you just going to church to just check the box? Are you just praying to just check the box? Put a little check in the box. Okay, I checked the Jesus box today, and now I can go back to whatever it is that I originally wanted, whatever it is that I originally wanted to talk about or think about or focus on. Am I just doing this to get Jesus out of the way? Hey, I checked the Christian box, I checked the Jesus box, and then, if you don't have the right intentions, and, God looks at the inward parts of the heart, right? He judges the thoughts and the intents. And although that is true, the enemy will use that and will twist that. And very quickly, I found myself slipping into this mind state of, well, if I don't have the right intentions, then I'm just not going to do it. Which on its face, in the natural, makes sense. But that's a trap. That is 100% a trap. I can tell you that getting up and not reading my Bible first thing in the morning is a net negative. It's never been a positive thing. Not once. Not once is pulling out my phone and getting on Facebook or TikTok or looking at mind-numbing brain rot reels or slap fight videos or for me, for my idol can very quickly become the news. Very quickly. It was always my idol before. And so like I got to get sucked into the latest headline, or, I'm stuck in what's going on in Minneapolis, or stuck with, what's going on with Trump in Greenland, or what's stuck in, the protests in Iran, or yada, 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 yada. And I'm worried about all these other things and focused on all these other things. And I'm distracted and I'm not focused on what's right in front of me. The news can very quickly become an idol for me. And so it's not about unplugging and then sticking my head in the dirt and just like ignoring everything around me. It's just, I got to get right. I got to get right first. You got to get right first. And you know what? If the first thing that you are letting into your mind is the world, you're already setting yourself up for failure. If that's the first thing. So don't fall into this trap of thinking and be like, oh, well, if, my thoughts and intents are not right, then there's no point. And so, so I just don't read my Bible. That has never been a good idea. Never. It's never been a good idea. Some people, you can get caught in a very, not even just a religious spirit. It's like a lying religious spirit that says, hey, you don't want to just look good on the outside. You don't want to just, look like you got your stuff together. That's pharisaical. So better to just not and have the right intentions than to read your Bible with the wrong intentions. Listen, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Okay? And I'll take it a step further and I'll let you know where this was bleeding over into other areas that were completely problematic. This was like walking around in the world with no armor. I tell people all the time that I was in the Marine Corps. I was an infantry rifleman during a time of war, deployed. Okay. I got the KIA bracelets and the unit designs to vouch. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Got my car. Got my combat action ribbon, man. Like I did exactly what you think about when you think about the Marine Corps. And not once did I just get up in the morning and just walk outside of the wire in my underwear. Not once. I got up. I put my gear on. I put my boots on, right? I put my vest on. I grabbed my rifle. I checked my gear. I double checked my gear. We had buddy checks before we left. Okay, that's the body, right? You need buddy checks. Because if we were going out on a night op and I didn't check my stuff, I didn't check my batteries, if I was the only ding-dong that didn't have fresh batteries in my MVGs, my night vision goggles, then I'm the only Yahoo out here that can't see while everybody else can see. And if we get into a firefight, I'm in big trouble. I don't know why I thought I could do this in the civilian sector, but that's what that's like. That's like getting up and just walking outside of the wire with no armor, no rifle, no nothing. That's insane. In fact, doing that in Afghanistan is 10,000 times safer than doing that here spiritually in the real world. 10,000 times safer. In Afghanistan, that's a death wish. That is a suicide mission. That is a death wish. So why would I think that it's any different over here? Spiritually. Sorry, God. Help me to keep my priorities right. We need to humble ourselves. We need to pursue holiness. We need to pursue obedience. And we need to pursue righteousness. Not because we're looking for God to bless us and what we're already doing and what we already want, but because it's the right thing to do. I hope this helps. Y'all have a good day.